remains a secret.
How are you feeling, Prime Minister?
What he wants to say is that's none of your business, but reluctantly he answered. I'm fine, he revealed, as his punishing schedule took him to Wales tonight. As one commentator quipped, this Prime Minister doesn't have time to be ill. He looked fine yesterday too, but just a few hours after taking on Michael Howard in the Commons.
A new driver, but the same old clacked-out Tory banger.
He suffered stomach pains severe enough for his doctor to be summoned to Downing Street. A second opinion was sought. On the back of a motorbike, a consultant surgeon was rushed to number 10. Seemingly unaware, Cherie was speaking at a fundraising event for cystic fibrosis.
A fabulous House of Commons bottle of whiskey, signed by somebody called Tony Blair.
When she returned home, her husband had been given the all clear.
He chaired the cabinet this morning with the usual degree of vigour and enthusiasm.
He looked pink.
He looked fine, yes.
His health hasn't always been something to smile about. He cultivates a fighting fit image, but last month he was treated in this London hospital for a minor heart complaint. Later, it emerged that he'd told both the Queen and Bill Clinton that he'd had a problem for some time. But then, and again today, Downing Street has insisted there's no cause for concern.
Now, those two doctors examined Mr. Blair again today, just before lunchtime. They're not prescribing him any treatment. They say there's no cause for concern. Beyond that, Downing Street is saying, please respect the Prime Minister's privacy. But of course, in that gap of hard information, then speculation will grow. Speculation, Mark, that's not really healthy for anyone.
Okay, John Ray, thank you.
So come on, evening news tonight. Tough questions for the big food companies about obesity. And a big day at the Palace for Posh and Bex.
And an amazing rescue. But what happened next to this woman? Find out about the extraordinary end to her story when we come back.
50 years of the greatest hit singles, the Platinum Collection. Legendary bands with classic songs. One unique double album. 45 incredible hits charting 5 decades of music. 50 years of the greatest hit singles, the Platinum Collection. The perfect gift for Christmas.
Musicals ever. 42 magical songs from the greatest musicals of all time. The biggest musical stars on one superb double album. The best musicals ever.
Welcome back. It was meant to be David's big day, but Victoria Beckham managed to steal some of the headlines with her headgear as he collected his OBE from the Queen.
Yeah, he called it amazing, the honour that is, not Posh's posh hat, and he made the most of the occasion to say how happy his marriage was. Well, from the palace, it's Paul Davis.
He arrived in top hat and ponytail. She was wearing a designer hat that'll be on most front pages tomorrow morning. Even for the country's most high-profile couple, this was a big day.
For services to Association Football.
The Queen, a keen football fan according to David Beckham, presented the England captain with his OBE and inquired about the pressures of flying to and from Spain to earn his living these days. Later, sharing the occasion with his wife Victoria, her hat and his grandparents, David Beckham said his new medal meant more than all the awards and silverware he'd won before.
This is probably the best I've received, so far. I think that, as I said, to be honoured for something that I love doing is special to me. So, it's an amazing day for me.
As Mr. Beckham OBE was holding court, Mrs. Beckham was holding back. But with a hat like that, you're not going to be ignored for long. There has been newspaper speculation that the new life in Spain is placing a strain on the Beckham marriage. The England skipper appeared to dismiss such talk.
I said last week she's a very supportive wife and I love her a lot.
There were reports in the papers of the weekend you're going to renew your wedding vows.
Supposedly, that's the first I've heard about it. We don't need to do that.
For those who like to know, Victoria Beckham's headwear today was created by society milliner Philip Tracy. She told reporters of the pleasure she'd taken in dressing up for her husband's big occasion.
Really, really exciting. I think it's been such a lovely day, and I think that everybody's been dressed up so smartly. It's been such a lovely occasion. Very much enjoyed ourselves.
In many ways, of course, this is just another day in the remarkable life of David Beckham. Just a few hours before meeting the Queen, he was reminding the football world of the golden talent that got him here in the first place.
It's Beckham's right, and it's in.
A trademark free kick, smoothing Real Madrid's progress in the Champions League in Marseille last night. Of course, David Beckham already has a Champions League winners' medal, but it doesn't mean quite as much as the one he got today. Paul Davis, ITV News, Buckingham Palace.
Well, Beckham's England boss, Sven-Göran Eriksson, has been made an offer the FA hopes he can't refuse to manage the squad until 2008. The Football Association has confirmed they've offered him a 2-year extension to his existing contract. He was already due to be in charge until the World Cup in 2006. The FA deny they're doing it to stop him being tempted to join Chelsea or any other club.
The Sinn Féin leader Gerry Adams and his arch opponent, the hardline unionist, the Reverend Ian Paisley, have both been re-elected to the Northern Ireland Assembly. Let's go straight to Mark Webster in Belfast. Mark, do these results mean that the peace process is going to remain deadlocked?
Well, it is incredibly tense here. It's complicated by the fact this is a proportional representation system. The way it looks so far is this. The moderate SDLP is being overhauled by Gerry Adams' Sinn Féin. They're both pro-agreement. The mother of all battles is going on for the unionist vote, and it does look, again I say early days, it looks possible that the Democratic Unionists of Ian Paisley could just squeak ahead of the Ulster Unionists of David Trimble, who are pro-agreement. Now that would raise the extraordinary possibility of Dr. Paisley, or one of his nominees, going forward as the proposed First Minister of the Devolved Assembly, with the former self-confessed IRA member, Martin McGuinness, as a possible Deputy First Minister. Now that plainly is A, untenable, B, I think it would be a nightmare scenario for the governments in London and Dublin, and I also think it would mean political paralysis here. Now it still isn't clear, as I say, if that's going to be the final thing, but in coming hours it's going to be very, very close indeed, and if that is what eventually transpires, then I think the conclusion here from the governments, as well as a lot of people locally, it'll be a very bad Thursday for the Good Friday Agreement.
Sir in Belfast, thank you.
The EastEnders star Jessie Wallace was today banned from driving for 3 years for drink driving. The actress, who plays barmaid Kat Slater, was caught in March this year driving over the limit. She had claimed her uncle had spiked her drinks. Magistrates at Southend also fined her £1,000.
Now, would you be quite so keen to eat a burger and chips washed down with a milkshake if you knew you had to walk 9 miles to burn off those calories? Thought not. Well, putting health warnings on junk food was just one of the suggestions that came out of a meeting between MPs and the bosses of McDonald's, Cadbury's and Pepsi on reducing obesity. Our medical correspondent Sue Saville reports.
Jack Glassett is one of the 19% of British children who are overweight. Like the MPs, Jack and his parents want to know how far food manufacturers are to blame. The Health Select Committee asked 4 of the most criticised food companies to give evidence. Julian Hilton Johnson is Vice President of McDonald's. Their Big Mac with large chips, a drink and a McFlurry dessert provides nearly 1,500 calories. He was asked to consider telling customers that represents a 9-mile run.
We do provide nutritional information. We started doing this comprehensively in 1984. In leaflets, we've built on that in our customer services helpline, on our website, and most recently by putting it on the back of tray liners as well.
Andrew Coslett manages Cadbury Schweppes, criticised for introducing supersized 500-calorie chocolate bars.
They were introduced against a very specific audience, which is for very active people, late teenage males who prove voracious consumers of most things.
Tim Mobsby represents Kellogg's, whose cereals have been criticised for their high salt and sugar content. Kellogg's cornflakes have the same salt concentration as seawater.
But also contained in the food is complex carbohydrates in the form of starch, which provides longer-term energy. The milk does the same, plus the other micronutrients. So sugar as a component of it, I think, is a positive element.
Martin Glenn heads PepsiCo UK, makers of drinks and crisps. Every person in Britain consumes an average 2 litres of fizzy drinks each week.